If you love cars that make a statement, today's lineup is a masterclass in contrast. On one side, Toyota's Razor Edge GT Super, a focused, track-minded machine that channels pure sporting intent. And on the other, a reimagined Hummer H1 for 2025, a modern titan that wears its off-road heritage like armor. We'll break down what makes each of these machines special, with extra attention to exterior design and the color choices that define their personalities. Let's start with the Toyota GT Super. While Toyota's official naming and exact spec sheets are still circulating mostly in teasers and enthusiast coverage, the GT Super is being presented as a halo model. Think extreme aero, lightweight construction, and a suspension tuned for cornering precision. Early previews and enthusiast rundowns emphasize aggressive front splitters, a low bonnet line, wide haunches and exaggerated flared arches that hint at a broad track and serious tire contact patch. These are design cues meant to telegraph performance even when the car's standing still. Cinematically, the GT Super is all angles and proportion. A planted nose, sculpted side blades to feed airflow, and a rear diffuser that looks like it was subcontracted to a wind tunnel. Close-ups should linger on carbon fiber details, mirror caps, roof panel, and an exposed weave on the rear wing, because those are the visual shorthand for lightweight, race-bred intent. Shot idea. Handheld low passes over the wheel arches to show the negative space between the tire and body, then a slow rack focus from aggressive front LED signatures to the sweeping coupe roofline. Color plays a big role in the GT Super's character. Because the car is positioned as a driver's instrument, expect a palette that reads both race-focused and bespoke. Deep matte blacks and graphite for a stealth look. Bright, saturated racing hues. Think vivid Renaissance red, electric blue, and contrast-popping neon accents for the track day crowd, and signature metallics with pearlescent flecks for customers who want showroom drama. Some dealers and shots of Toyota's sport models list evocative names for paint: Stratosphere, Nocturnal, Renaissance red, that nod to both the brand's sporty lineage and modern color trends. If Toyota follows its Gazoo racing playbook, there will also be optional contrasting roofs, matte finishes and choice carbon packages. Underneath the design lies an emphasis on handling. Wider tires, aggressive camber geometry, and likely adaptive suspension hardware so the GT Super can switch from predictable street compliance to razor-sharp track behavior. Interior shots should contrast the exterior's razored aggression with driver-centered simplicity. Alcantara bolsters, exposed harness points, and tactile aluminum paddles. Note: exact engine and output figures for the GT Super are still unofficial and being teased by Toyota and content creators. Treat specs as evolving as Toyota solidifies trim and release details. Now switch terrains. The 2025 Hummer H1, reborn in concept and rumor feeds, is the masculine antithesis to the GT Super's slender silhouette. Where the GT Super is about slicing through corners, the H1 is about conquering everything in its path. Designers have kept the H1's iconic, boxy stance but updated it with modern lighting signatures, sculpted fender vents, and modular bumpers that accept winches, lighting pods, and heavy-duty tow points. It's a utility monument. Purposeful, tall, and intimidating. Early concept previews and coverage show the H1 retaining its towering presence but with sleeker surfaces, contemporary LED arrays, and a more refined cabin volume while still being unmistakably Hummer. Because you asked specifically about the red H1, imagine this: a high gloss, fire engine red skin stretched over the H1's muscular planes. Red on the H1 is loud in the best possible way. It amplifies the truck's shadow and highlights the multi-layered panels and large clamshell hood. But the H1's color story doesn't stop at glossy candy paint. Expect military-inspired matte greens and sand tones, matte blacks for a stealth look, and metallic gunmetal finishes for buyers who want subdued aggression. In many markets, GMC and Hummer have also offered special edition finishes, camo wraps, pearlescent flake, and two-tone treatments, so a bold red option will likely sit alongside more utilitarian palettes for those who prefer function over flash. Function-first design choices are where Hummer truly separates itself. Ground clearance, beadlock-capable wheels, heavy-duty rock sliders, and modular roof racks are all visible in concept imagery. If Hummer follows its EV lineage and Hummer EV features, modern tech joins brute strength. Adaptive air suspension with a kneel or lower mode for loading, integrated camera arrays to monitor blind spots and off-road obstacles, and a configurable light show that makes the vehicle as visible as it is capable. On camera, capture the H1's undercarriage travel, the articulation of the axles, and the simplicity of the body on-frame angles. These are the things that tell viewers this isn't a cosmetic makeover but a functional machine. When comparing the two visually, the GT Super reads like a scalpel, sleek, deliberate, refined for speed and cornering. The H1 reads like a sledgehammer, chunky, honest, built to endure punishment. The GT's color choices accentuate nuance and motion, the H1's colors shout readiness and dominance. For your B-roll plan, open with wide, cinematic establishing shots, coastline for the GT Super, desert or rocky trail for the H1. Use slow motion for the GT Super's aero elements and quick, dynamic cuts for the H1 as it negotiates obstacles. Detail shots matter. Carbon weave, wheel lug nuts, LED signature lines, and badge close-ups tell the story faster than words. Wrap up with the emotional sell. The GT Super is for the enthusiast who wants precision, lap time bragging rights, and a sculpted piece of automotive art. The H1 is for the adventurer who wants presence, capability, and a vehicle that looks ready to get dirty and come back for another round. Both cars are statements. Different languages of automotive design, one fluent in aerodynamics and driver engagement, the other fluent in torque, clearance, and sheer will. Closing shot. Split screen, the Toyota GT Super launches off a starting line, the Hummer H1 crests a rocky ridge. Fade to black with call to action.